So I've never talked about Deepin on this channel up to this point. So here it is, Deepin 15.10. I've seen the Deepin name pop up more and more over the past year or so, and I've wanted to give it a test drive for a while. Deepin is a Chinese Linux distribution based on Debian, which is the same distro that Ubuntu is based on, and it uses the Deepin Desktop, which is written in Qt, which is the same framework that KDE uses. Oh, and also, I'm not intending this video to be like a is it good or is it bad sort of video. This is just like a spotlight video because I have literally never taken a look at Deepin until just now. So let's get started with the appearance of things. I find that GTK and Qt apps generally have different visual appearances, like styles, and I can say that I love Deepin's aesthetic. It feels very 21st century modern in contrast to KDE's firmly mid-2000s look and feel. The icons are fabulous and both dock modes are very polished and nice. The launcher itself, like the app launcher, is stylish, it's nice looking, but it's not terribly unique anymore. macOS and Gnome do pretty much the exact same thing here, but with Deepin you can actually modify the way the apps are displayed with categories or turn it into like a panel like KDE style, so that's kind of cool. The little widgets or docklets or whatever they're called in the notification center in fashion mode are just kind of weird. Like, look at the clock. It's this weird circle with digital numbers and you can't customize it or anything. That's just how it is. I get that they're trying to make use of the space that they have, but it's like, I can see the hours, but it's just a really weird design. And throughout the desktop, there's a lot of English or generally bad translations going on. I find this especially weird considering it's an open source project, right? But as far as I can tell, they aren't requesting for native English speakers to shore up the translations or localizations, which strikes me as kind of lazy on their part. I mean, I get that it's a Chinese distribution and the target audience is the Chinese population, but it's an open source project. You could just simply ask people, hey, could you help with translations? And you'd have hundreds of people that would do it. So I don't know what's going on there. The install size is pretty heavy for Linux distros at just under 10 gigabytes. Resource utilization at idle is actually pretty standard for a Qt-based desktop, coming in at under 700 megabytes of memory used, which is roughly on par with KDE. And while we're here looking at the System Monitor app, I have to say that this is the nicest System Monitor app thing that I have ever seen on Linux. I mean, look at the graphs and you can clearly see the memory used, and then there's a networking section. It is really friggin' nice. And this is a good segue to start talking about some apps. So I found that the Deepin Desktop reminds me an awful lot of Budgie. Budgie is a desktop environment, most notably used by Solus, but also used by other distributions, that has its own window manager, taskbar, and whatever else, but it's still very dependent on upstream apps, specifically Gnome apps. Deepin is the exact same way. It has its own core desktop components like, the window manager and all of that. And it does have a lot of, Deepin apps, like custom apps, but it still uses a lot of upstream apps from the Gnome project of all places. Like, for example, it uses gparted, file roller, events, or, the document viewer. I've never actually had to say it out loud. But that kind of surprised me because those are GTK apps and Deepin Desktop is a Qt desktop. So why wouldn't they use KDE apps? I don't know. So the Deepin Store is interesting. I remember I made a video a while ago that talked about the Ubuntu Store and how I really liked it. And a lot of people were like, hey, the Deepin Store is even better. Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, the Deepin Store is stylish. I mean, it looks good, but it's not localized at all. I'm in the US, which is an English-speaking country, and there are localized mainland Chinese apps being promoted to me. I don't even think these apps would work on my computer. I mean, don't get me wrong, on principle, that's fine, but it doesn't exactly scream polish, Deepin also doesn't ship with snaps or Flatpak, so there's a lot of popular apps that are missing. So if you want Discord or VS Code or something, you're going to have to get it from somewhere else. But I mean, it's functional. You can search for stuff, and it actually has a pretty good variety of apps. So if you want to modify your desktop settings, you go to the Settings app. That isn't really an app at all. It's a panel, which is awfully similar to Budgie, again. And I'm going to be honest here, I don't like this panel, but to be fair, I don't like the Budgie panel, Raven or whatever it's called. It's just a weird metaphor that I don't like. I mean, what's wrong with just having an app with a bunch of settings, like icon settings and stuff? I don't get the panel thing. And the Deepin Desktop panel is really cluttered. I mean, look at all these icons. There's all this stuff going on, and when you click an icon, it like slides to the bottom, and then there's like this weird cat thing that kind of looks like it's anime, and then it pops up, and then it looks like it's alien. This is just really weird, and it's not my style. So in my top 3 desktop videos, a large number of folks in the comments asked about Deepin Desktop. And here it is. My overall opinion of Deepin is, it's all right. It reminds me a lot of Elementary OS, actually, as well as Solus. But it has its own desktop environments and its own ecosystem of apps, but it's not nearly as full-featured as like Gnome, KDE, or to be honest, even Elementary OS and Pantheon is. Something else to keep in mind is that Deepin isn't just some open source project that's out there. It's run by a company based out of China. The code for the project and all of the apps can be found on GitHub, but they don't have anywhere near the level of collaboration as other open source desktops out there. This could be due to the language barrier or just a lack of interest from the community in general. To summarize up Deepin though, it's certainly not a bad distro, but I wouldn't include it on any of my top Linux distro lists or anything like that. Honestly, the biggest reason for that is the poor localization. The English translations are just not good, and the Deepin Store tends to curate Chinese apps, which is a bit weird for folks that don't live in China. But it's not a bad distro, and if you want to try it out, I suggest you do. You might like it. However, it's not my cup of tea. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you want to support me, I've got a Patreon. I've got another channel called EG Plays where I do like gameplay videos and stuff like that. And of course, you can always follow me over on Twitter. I appreciate all your support, and thanks for watching.